What's going on today, guys? Lego Man 213 here, bringing you an all-new 150th scale update video. Now, I had a subscriber ask for a 150th scale collection update, but not in the shorts format that I typically do, where I just kind of give a quick, overview slash whatever you call it, where you breeze over something really quick. Update. He wanted a full in-depth collection update, so I figured I would do a full in-depth collection update. However, I'm going to do it in parts. So this one is going to include all of my 150th scale semi-trucks, dump trucks, tractors, and then it's going to include my payloaders, my dozers, and my trailers that I have. I don't have a large number of dozers and loaders. I just have 3 loaders, 4 dozers, and 3 trailers. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in the back, work my way left to right with the trucks, then do the equipment, and then do trailers. So starting off left to right, this is my 150th scale Western Star. I believe it's the 4700. It is a Norscot model. So what this entails, you have a steerable front axle, a steerable tag axle that does raise and lower. The hood of the model does open to reveal a detailed engine. It is a Detroit diesel. I believe it's a DD13. The grill surround stays, but the actual grill insert right here does stays to the truck, while the grill surround stays to the hood. That is very common on a lot of plow trucks or trucks that have a grill guard similar to like this Mack Granite. So when I open the hood surround opens, but the grill surround goes with the hood, but the grill itself stays. So that is what this system here does. Next up, this is actually a first gear Kenworth T880 triaxle dump truck. It is it's first gear, but I believe it's also made by Norscot. Correct me if I'm wrong. Very, very good detailed truck. The doors open, the hood as well does open to reveal a nice detailed engine. Turn the flash on so you guys can kind of see in there. Like I said, the doors, if I can do it one-handed, the doors as well, they do open both sides. And then the tarp does function on this truck, but to a degree. I believe it only goes up halfway. The tarp on the Western Star does not function, has no functionality to it. This one as well, steerable tag, steerable steer axle as well up front, and then the tag axle as well does raise and lower. Mine actually tends to, when I raise it up fully, it tends to drop. I'd say a good 1/8 inch. It was like that when I bought the model, as you know, when it came in, it was that way. So I'm not going to complain. It is what it is. Next up, this is a Peterbilt 378 or 387, I believe. Openable hood, showing a detailed Cummins engine. Doors, I don't believe open. The front steer axle and the tag axle, they do not move in terms of steering, and the tag axle does not go up or down. It is fixed. And what I mean by that is, if you look closely, the tag axle does move. So it is, when I say it is fixed, it's fixed permanently on the ground, which it's not a big deal. For me, the truck is hooked up to a lowboy, typically just posed hauling a motor grader, my Komatsu motor grader. So there is that. Very well detailed model. I do like the headache rack on the back. Very nice, clean model. I do enjoy posing it. It's a downfall not having a front axle that can steer. Actually, all but 2 of these trucks have an axle that can steer. The other 2 don't. Next up, this is I believe this is a Sword model. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is the Kenworth T800 wide hood. So you have the headlights are actually narrower, so you don't have the two bulb, you just have the single bulb. The hood does open, as you can see. Again, Cummins engine. The front axle does steer, and then if you look closely and hear it, there is actually suspension in the front. Now, this truck also did originally come with a tag axle right here. It was a dually tag axle. I took that off and turned it into a longer frame tandem truck. I took and I ground down and when I say ground down, I just took a Dremel with a sanding bit on the end, and I just knocked off the caution light bar, which is basically it's the similar design as this one. I think on the T800, it was a little longer in terms of width. So I knocked that off because this truck is set up for hauling my log trailer. And then I went through and did a custom little paint job on it with the green fenders and then the stripe on the hood of that center line on the hood, just to kind of change it up because it was an all-white truck to begin with. But a very nice detailed truck. I do enjoy displaying it, and it does look good towing the trailer. Next up, this is a custom, I believe a 3D printed style truck. The description when I purchased it, I bought it through an auction. I won the bid. The seller described it as, so the parts and pieces are through, I believe, either First Gear or Norscot, but like the headache rack, the D sign, the bumpers, and the decking are all, I believe, custom 3D prints. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. So, but this is the other truck that I said does not have a steerable front axle, but it is a Kenworth C500 winch tractor. This is set up for basically your typical Alberta oil field setup. So very good detailed truck. It is a lime green bumper and frame with it's very hard to tell on camera, but it is a kind of like a dark forest green paint job. I was drawing a blank on what I was saying there. But that is my C500. That is my newest tractor, whatever you want to call it. That is the newest one that I've purchased. This is the original truck that got me into 150th scale models. This is a T880 tandem axle. Used to be a dump truck. Went through, I painted the fenders a metallic silver. And then I ended up, what I did was I shaved, what did I do? I shaved something on the truck. I just don't remember what. But I did add a headache rack, and what I did there was I used the actual tailgate of the dump body, drilled a few holes, and then did some filing and turned it into a headache rack. The fifth wheel I bought off of eBay, and then the mud flaps I custom made myself, and that one got messed up because it's been sitting folded up for a long time. This truck, like I said, got me into the 150th scale models. It does have a steerable axle up front, and then the hood as well does open. That is actually a first gear model. Next up and last for the trucks, also before I forget, this red T880 and the T800 both have CB antennas that I added. I actually used broom brush bristles, and I cut them to length and glued them on. And then lastly, out of the trucks, this is my Mack F700 cab over. It used to have a gold dog right on the hood there, right where that little right there where that mark used to be, but it decided it didn't want to be a part of that anymore. There we go. This truck, very good detail. The cab, being a cab over, does open. As you can see, it shows an engine. Very good detail. I love it. This is the only one that I've seen in this paint job. All the other ones are like a red with the Canadian flag. So I don't know if this is extremely rare or not, but it is nice to have it. It was actually a fairly decent priced model at the time when I bought it. So I'm very happy with that. I would like to get a trailer. Nothing crazy, just like a little tanker trailer maybe. Just to kind of finish the truck off. But as it sits right now, it is a very nice model, and I do like it. And then the front axle as well does steer. Next up, moving on to payloaders. So for those of you who don't know, I used to work in a log yard, and we had John Deere loaders. More particularly, we had two 624Ks and a 624H. And then later on, towards the end of that mill's running time, we ended up getting a 544K loader as well. And that loader actually was set up to have a fixed set of forks with a grapple on the end. I don't remember the specific term, but it was basically just a little hook that, well, not a little, but it was a, so you had your two forks and then you had a hook in the middle that could clamp down. So it was kind of like a grapple, but not. I just don't remember the name. But it was a 544. Particularly, I ran the 624K, and then my buddy in the log yard he ran the 624K that had the high lift arms. Very nice loaders. I liked them. Plenty of power and very fun. So what I ended up doing, I wanted to get a 544, and then no one really makes an accurate 624K to what I've run. The closest thing that I've seen is where the center arm here is basically reversed, if that makes sense. It's not set up, it's completely opposite to how these are set up. So what I ended up doing, I purchased the 544, and this is a 744. You can see there, 744H. And what I ended up doing, I did not touch the 544, but I did modify and customize the 744 to match the 624H that we had in the log yard. That was our backup spare loader. But this loader here, the 744, is customized and painted to basically match the 624H that I would run if my loader was down, or if I needed to run it. For instance, we needed a third loader running around, things like that. But this one, I painted it, and then I weathered it. Well, I weathered it, painted it, and then what I ended up doing, I ran it in some mud, so I actually got the tires actually muddy to give it that more realistic effect. Again, Ertl, and this 844L is an Ertl as well. Very good models. The only gripe I have with the two newer ones is the actual loader arm mechanisms. They don't function fully. And what I mean by that is, if you know Ertl, they tend to don't raise and they don't lower. And in the loader's instance, tilt in and out as far as they should. I really haven't noticed anything with the 744 being, I guess, out of place. Other than that, no complaints. The 544, before I forget, the engine compartments do open. The back axle as well does, as you can see there, it does articulate. Not a lot, but enough that you notice it. And then the 744 here does not articulate for the axle, but it does have a good range of motion in the front. Well, not the front, but the center pins. And then the 844 here, I just did that full review on that, so I'm going to breeze through this one. But this is my largest loader right now. I'm not a huge fan of John Deere, but the reason I got these was because I ran John Deere's in the log yard, and I wanted something along those lines. This is the 844L aggregate handler. Very nice machine. Like I said, the cooler doors open, rear axle, it does articulate. same as the 544. So very nice machine. You definitely can tell size wise. So 744 is roughly almost, this is about the size of a 624K. It might be a tiny bit bigger in person, but that's roughly how big they are in real life. And then moving on from loaders, now we're going to dozers. This is so it is a new model, but it is built to be a vintage inspired. This is a Cat D8, what model is this? Where does it say? There we go, D8R. Very nice model, very well detailed model. Personally, I kind of want to customize it to get some limb risers, similar to what this D6 is, or yeah, D6, and then do it on here as well. So comment it down below if you guys want to see me customize this to do a custom set of limb risers / cab guarding, and let me know. Functionality, blade up and down. It does not turn left or right, but it does go forward like that, and then it does go backwards. So you do have a good range of motion up, down, and then a tiny bit where you can tilt the blade left and right. Same with this D6, up, down. It does move forward like that, and pardon the dust. It's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. One gripe I have with this machine, so when I got it, you get the 3 ripper attachment, and you have to put the ripper teeth in. Now, the gripe I have is the connection point is not the best, and I don't know why, but for some reason I put the 3 in and I've only had 1 survive. So I'm missing 2 rippers, and as you can see, that one is loose. So if you know anything about that, comment that down below. Let me know. Another function, I guess, is the step right here that you lower the ripper, boom, you have your little access step if you need to get into the rear. So very nice machine. Again, that's your forestry inspired dozer, and that's kind of the limb riser setup that I want to do on this D8. But I've always been a big fan of the D8s, and I really want to do the limb riser setup. Next up, this is my newest dozer, and it is a vintage style. This is the D7. As you can see, come on, focus. There we go, Cat D7. So the cool thing with this is you can actually take this screw out, and then you can move the pin back, and you can you can move it there. So you can do all sorts of cool, crazy stuff with this machine. So you can angle the blade left or right, and then obviously you can raise and lower it. It does not have the functionality of tilting the blade forward like the D8 and the D6 can. Very cool, old school vintage. And like I said, you know, you got the open cab with the vintage controls. Again, I'd like to do a custom limb riser setup on this, especially since it is set up with a tow bar, but then it also has the winch setup as well. So something cool. I like the vintage stuff, and yeah. Lastly, for dozers, this is my Cat D3. This is again a 3 ripper, but the teeth are actually built in when you purchase this. Again, it's dirty. Sorry about that. Blade functionality, up, down, left, right. It cannot tilt it cannot tilt this way, but it does have good functionality. And then you can also open the cab door, or cap roof, excuse me, and you can actually fit a operator in there, and the door as well does open. I'm trying to do this one-handed, and it's very difficult. But you can open that door, so if you wanted to pose it with an open door, you could. Very nice model. Like I said, very good quality. D3, and I believe it was roughly around $80. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've purchased that and actually looked at that exact dozer. But lastly, we'll take a look at trailers. So the first trailer I ever got, I also purchased it to go with that T880 there, is this stainless beaver tail. And that's actually what hauls the D3 around. It's got that perfect look when it's hooked up to the maroon T880 triaxle over there. Again, first gear model, very nice. And then my second oldest trailer is the triaxle lowboy that comes with the orange Pete right here. That did not come with any machines on it, but I did include the Komatsu grater that I have as part of its display piece. And then my third trailer I bought this as a custom model from, I believe it's Jake's Models. He's from British Columbia, Canada. That's also where I got the T800, and there was one other thing that I purchased from him. I just don't remember. I got the truck and the trailer and something else. I just don't remember what it was. But this is a triaxle log trailer. It is a 5-bunk setup. So it's not your typical American style where you'd either have 2 bunks here and 2 bunks here, or you'd have 6 bunks. You could actually do 1, 2, 3 stacks of logs. So the way I set it up, I have got short logs and then I have longer length logs. And then I also had to add mud flaps in the rear. Nothing too crazy, just I painted paper black and called it good and glued them on. And yeah, it pairs well to the white T800. It looks good. I like it. And then my newest trailer is this. This is a triaxle with a Jeep and a booster, and it is set up to go be paired with my C5. It hauls that crazy monstrosity that I call a drilling rig. I don't remember the exact name of that model, but I do have a drilling rig that I pose on this trailer. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Also, before I forget, this model, the trailer setup that I have, everything comes with this trailer when you buy it. So you get 2 sets of boosters, you get the Jeep and the actual gooseneck trailer as well. So very nice model. Definitely recommend it. There is some assembly, but it's very, 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 very easy to do. So I definitely recommend it to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for part 2, where I will go more in depth with the excavators and the log loaders and the drilling rig as well. So hope you guys enjoyed. Again, stay tuned for part 2, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lego Man 213 out.